Hi guys, Chester Westerford here. So, The Mandalorian Chapter 18, The Mines of Mangalore, has been released, and here are my quick hot take thoughts. First off, I want to say overall I really enjoyed this episode. We start off with the return of Peli Moto. The attempts at humor with this character have always been pretty hit or miss for me. This is the first time I've actually found her scenes to really be actually pretty funny all the way through. Her teaming up with the Jawas to trick the Rhodian really kind of made me chuckle. Don't usually chuckle with her. I mean, it's just usually just not my type of humor, but this one I really liked. I also like the addition of the astromech to the episode. I assume he's going to be carrying on to the rest of the season. I hope he does. I liked the character. It was fun. Star Wars always does well with their robotic sidekicks, and making them somewhat different from each other, giving them different personalities. Does make me wonder, though, where this IG-11 thing is going. Dinn said he needed him for the spelunking, but now he's done it, so are we done with IG-11 now? Is he not coming back? I feel like if that's the case, it makes his semi-return all the more random and somewhat even more pointless, but I guess it was cool to see him and cool to see that half IG-11 in the last episode. But moving on, it was great to see Mandalore in this episode, or at least the ruins of Mandalore were pretty cool. I do really like that they're delving into all that Mandalorian culture and history for this season. It's an area of Star Wars that hasn't really been as explored as some, especially in the live action series and movies, and I'm intrigued to see where they go with it. I have a feeling it's leading up to the rebuilding and restoration of Mandalore, which would be pretty cool. With the Grogu Jedi storyline pretty much wrapped up, this new season and storyline about Mandalorian culture really does kind of update the show and give it a fresh new direction that was probably needed. Not that I didn't like the storyline of the first couple of seasons, but I don't know, maybe it's just the Doctor Who fan in me, but I think it's good when any show refreshes itself every now and then to kind of keep things interesting. Feels very different to what came before, too. Not necessarily better or inferior, just different. It doesn't feel as westerny. It feels more like Star Wars space fantasy stuff, which is good. And like I say, I really enjoyed the cowboy stuff, don't get me wrong, but this is cool too. I also like the inclusion of Bo-Katan being an important part of this season. Like I said, I feel like this is all leading to the rebuilding of Mandalore, and I'm all here for it. Like I say, I'm just finding all the Mandalorian history and culture stuff kind of fascinating. One thing I said last week was I wondered how much Grogu was going to be involved in this season, considering he originally left, and I did wonder when it was planned for him to come back. Was it always the plan for him to come back? Did they start writing these episodes before they knew he was going to come back? I still don't know. While he didn't feel completely necessary to this story, he did have some impact. What with being the one to go get Bo-Katan when Din was in trouble. Although in the beginning he did kind of feel like he was just there for Din to monologue to when they needed an exposition dump. Speaking of which, this episode did feel like it was a lot of exposition talk. It was all necessary exposition, but at times it made the episode feel a bit slow. Having said that though, it was slower, but I was never bored. I think they did a good job making it seem natural enough and interesting enough. Didn't feel like it was too much exposition. And in between the exposition, of course, we had some really interesting creatures and action scenes with those creatures. Especially that biological cyborg creature that captured Din. I want to know more about that thing. Apologies if it was something I should know from one of the animated shows or other expanded media. I've watched all the Clone Wars as far as the animated shows go, but I'm still going through Rebels, so I wouldn't necessarily recognize it if it wasn't something new. But if it was something new, like I say, I really want to know more about it. What was that thing? Why was it taking Mando's blood? Are there more of them? And if it is something from the animation or expanded media, please someone in the comments feel free to point me to it wherever it's from, because I would like to know more. It kind of intrigues me. Seems like such a cool, horrific idea and a really good design. So far, all the creatures on this season look great so far. From that pirate captain, to this guy, to the weird underground creatures they meet. I forget what they're called. And as far as creature designs go, that leads me, of course, to that end with the reveal of the Mythosaur. That was a really cool scene with Bo-Katan having to go under the water and seeing it there. I thought that was really well done, really well written, really well directed, really well shot, kind of understated, but not at the same time. And more importantly, it was revealed to Bo-Katan. What does this mean for Mandalore, for the truth behind the legends, for Bo-Katan's beliefs, for Dinn's beliefs? I guess we'll find out as the season unfolds, and I'll be here to review them as they drop. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know if you enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you later. Goodbye. And may the Force be with you.